Sophia wakes up to a completely messy apartment, and everything in the small space is in disarray. There are boxes upon boxes of inventory of her store, and the mess has gotten to a point that it is affecting her business now. A minor accident, involving a phone call from Shane, that leads to red wine being spilled on Sophia's shipment, makes Sophia realize that she has got to find a new place. Later, when she is hanging out with Annie and Shane, Sophia searches online for office spaces to rent for her booming business. But she is having a hard time finding the right place. When Dax returns home from college, Sophia makes fun of his lunchbox. But despite her constant mockery, Dax helps Sophia by telling her where she can find a place to rent. When Sophia gets there and asks the landlord for a place to rent, the man tells her that he does not have any space. But Sophia knows that he is lying because she just saw him trying to sell this place to a man. She demands to see the large office space on the top floor, but the man refuses to rent it to her because it's twice as expensive. The landlord does not think Sophia can afford it, on account of her being a girl. But when Sophia shows him that she has got enough cash to cover rent for the next 3 months, the man changes his mind and leads her upstairs. When Sophia sees the larger office space, she immediately falls in love with it. She gets down to signing the papers, but when the landlord asks her for her previous landlord's number to know if Sophia paid rent on time, Sophia gets worried for a bit. She then texts Lionel, asking him to cover for her and pretend to be her current landlord. She puts his number down on the papers. Then when the landlord demands to run her credit, Sophia again finds herself in a bit of a pickle, considering that she has some bad credit. The landlord excuses that, but tells her that she would need a co-signer to back her up. This adds to Sophia's list of problems. She does not know anybody who would be willing to co-sign the lease. She shares her dilemma with Annie, who then suggests Sophia go to the one person who can help her for sure, her dad. But Sophia is completely against that idea. She does not think her dad could ever understand Sophia's vision. Annie asks her to make him understand, but how could Sophia even do that, when her dad only responds to numbers, spreadsheets, and graphs? That is when Annie has an idea about someone who can help Sophia with the technical stuff. Sophia takes her sob story to Dax and asks for his help. At first, Dax is not interested in helping Sophia, because she always gives him a hard time about going to business school. But when Annie promises intimate favors in exchange for him helping Sophia, Dax has no choice but to agree. But his only condition is that Sophia will not make fun of lunchboxes anymore, and would acknowledge their usefulness once and for all. Sophia begrudgingly agrees, and Dax helps her plot her business plan on paper. Dax's calculations indicate that Sophia's business has low overhead, steady demand, and high margins, which means she is rocking it. Sophia is beyond happy to know just how great her business is doing. She gathers all the instruction napkins from Dax and gets on her way. Later, at her apartment, when Sophia is trying to figure out how to make bar graphs, Lionel shows up at her place. Sophia thanks him for covering up for her and pretending to be her landlord. When Sophia tells him that she needs to talk to her dad about her business proposal, Lionel's advice for her is to have a buffer for the conversation. He suggests she takes Shane along with her. He tells Sophia the story about his own difficult conversation with his parents and how having a buffer saved him from getting a whooping from his dad. Sophia and Shane wait at the restaurant for her dad. Sophia is so nervous about the meeting that Shane tries to help her by distracting her. He tells her how excited he is to meet her dad and how this is a really big step in their relationship. But that only makes Sophia more nervous. She can't focus on her relationship with Shane while trying to convince her dad to buy into her. She reminds Shane that he is only there to act as a buffer and not to ask her dad funny stories from her childhood. When Sophia's dad arrives, he is pretty surprised to see Sophia sitting there on time, with a guy who can form a complete sentence. Pleasantries are exchanged and the dinner goes on. Sophia's dad and Shane bond over their mutual love of music concerts, and Shane shares anecdotes from his music tours. Jay seems pretty impressed by Shane and even shares an anecdote from Sophia's childhood. After the dinner ends, Sophia finally gathers the courage to talk to her dad. She confidently tells him about her business, explaining exactly how it works, and then presents him with a well-thought-out business plan. Her dad seems skeptical about Sophia's plan, but he still hears her out. When he finds out how well Sophia's business has been doing, her dad feels a little proud of her. But the only problem Sophia has is the lack of proper space for inventory. She tells her dad about her new office space and assures him that she has the money for it, but all she needs from him is to co-sign the lease with her. Sophia can't remember the last time she asked for this, but she pleads for his help. Her father agrees to help her, and Sophia celebrates with Shane. She thanks him for being the best buffer ever, and Shane is happy for Sophia's success. He's also happy because he finally got to meet the father of the girl he wants to be with. But Sophia does not acknowledge his words and her excitement, and then leaves to tell Annie about it. When Sophia arrives at the landlord's office 2 days later, her dad is already there, talking to the man. Sophia is so completely stoked about this, until she finds out that her father decided to put the lease in his name, instead of hers. Sophia is shocked and hurt. She argues that it is her business, not his. But her father does not trust Sophia to not get bored of this new thing and flee, leaving him high and dry. Sophia decides that she is no longer interested. She walks out of there, brimming with anger, and her dad tries to stop her. Sophia is disappointed that her own father does not believe in her, even though she proved to him that she has got it this time. Annie, along with Sophia's model, is waiting for Sophia at a junkyard. When Sophia arrives there, she is livid. She tells Annie all about what her dad did. Sophia's anger is so out of control that she ends up breaking the door. She can't understand why her father won't ever believe in her. She can change a woman's perception of the clothing that she sells, so why can't she do the same with her dad? Annie tells her it is because men know that a girl has to work twice as hard to prove herself to be worthy of their respect. But Sophia does not want to be seen as a little girl, like her dad perceives her to be. When Annie opens the door Sophia broke, she walks into an old storage room, which gives her the idea of turning it into something better for Sophia. She suggests that Sophia can clean up the room and use it as her office or storage space. And so, Sophia starts seeing Annie's vision come to life. When the rugged old man who owns that place shows up, Sophia tells him that she wants to rent that place. When the man laughs at her, Sophia zealously stands up for herself and for the girl power she possesses. Annie and the model support Sophia as she convinces the man to let her rent his place, telling him that she will be an excellent tenant and will pay her rent on time. She confirms her claim by giving the man a $1,000 deposit in cash. The man, impressed by Sophia's confidence, seals the deal with a spit handshake.